Hey, welcome back. I'm Lynn JT, your hypnobirthing practitioner, and today I actually want to help your birth partner to help you birth like a boss. And to do that, I'm going to give them a really practical, empowering tool that they can use. It's a script, a list of questions that are essential to making sure not that your birth plan goes to the exact plan that you've written out, because, well, it never happens like that. That's a separate issue. But it's to make sure that no matter what happens, no matter what direction your labor takes, that you can remain calm and in control and make educated decisions in your own time without being pressurized into doing certain interventions. Now make sure to click the link below so you can download this vital tool in PDF format. And you'll also get instant access to the full video series here and all the pregnancy self-care tools. So let's dive straight into this last section of this series. So you're wondering, where does your birth partner fit into all of this, and do they really have such a big role to play? Well, let me tell you, they most certainly do. Now, just a couple generations back, my dad, for example, wasn't even allowed in the birthing room. And now there's this expectation that they should be there. However, as Hollywood would have us believe, their role is merely to be a punch bag or someone to hurl abuse at when the going gets tough. Now that's super funny to watch in a movie, but when you're in it, it's not what either of you really want. So dads, birth partners, you have a major role to play. Now hear me when I say that it is so pivotal that you can make or break each step of the labor process. Not only can you help mom enter the zone, this calm strategy, but even more important is your guardian role of making sure that she feels safe at all times and is therefore able to remain in this precious zone where you've got pain relief, drugs, natural happy hormones on tap. Where you have that rock solid mindset to stay in control, to manage your comfort levels at all time. This is the confidence, relaxation, peaceful, powerful birth cycle. If you haven't seen it, make sure you click on the link and get the full series and watch video 1. Now, to do this, to minimize her risk of bursting this bubble, you need to minimize her need to interact with anyone. So that way she can stay focused on herself and on baby. You're making her bubble watertight and proofing it like a buffer against any negativity and damaging sources of doubt and fear. Because yes, if you've been following me so far, you don't want any little tiny trigger of self-doubt to tip her into the fear, tension, pain cycle. Now, this is where the stress hormones take over. That tenses up your body, your uterus, closes the cervix. It creates resistance, and that's what leads to pain, tearing, exhaustion, and therefore the need for synthetic drugs and invasive intervention, which is what you want to be avoiding. So keeping her out of this cycle and protecting her calm strategy bubble, that is your guardian role. And there are so many things that you are capable of to help her reduce stress, to be able to ride the contractions easily and to stay in the zone. So from the way you communicate with her, to the way you touch her, the way you act as first contact wherever possible to the outside world. And this is really key, including that means taking phone calls for her so that she doesn't have to deal with anxious family, curious friends, and get questions and all this monitoring as well from hospital staff. All of this is about you being the buffer, that translator, so she can just ignore everything and only pay attention to what's really needed. So you only alert her to the things where that's, to what she really needs to pay attention to. Everything else is just a risk of popping that bubble. Now, this tool that I'm giving you today is going to make dealing with stressful decision making in hospital a whole lot easier for you both, because I've asked you to be the one who's being first contact with hospital staff when decisions need to be made. I'm not asking you to to make all those decisions for mum, but this is a tool that's going to allow you to filter out what's really necessary, what you really need to consider, what you can just let go by. It's not your job to make the decisions for mum, let's be clear on that, but you can filter out all of the unnecessary debates if you and mum have a clear birth plan with all the different options that you're happy to take and the preferences listed in order. These all already discussed beforehand and written out in a clear birth plan. That's going to just help guide you. It doesn't guarantee, a birth plan does not guarantee that your birth will go according to what you've planned out. It just means that you have educated yourself on all the different options. You know what each one entails, and it allows this process when it comes to it on the big day, when a decision needs to be made, then you've got this guidance. There's plenty of room for flexibility, and it's vital to understand that you're able to roll with whatever happens. That it's okay, whatever happens, you'll be okay with it because you have that confidence, that calm mindset, and the plan so that you can make educated decisions. So what is eBrains and what does it look like? This is the PDF print off that you can download, and it's a really handy mnemonic so that you can remember which questions to ask. So say you've been asked something like, you're being pushed towards an invasive intervention, which actually you do want to avoid, and this is likely to cause stress to mom. This is what's going to make her feel rushed and observed, and that's the last thing you want. You need to allow the birth process to unfold naturally, and giving yourself all the time in the world is part of that. Creating that privacy, that intimacy is what you need. Like what we said in one of the earlier videos, if you're going to the toilet and you want to take a poo, you want to do a poo, what are the conditions that you want to do that in? Do you want it with, lots of people walking in and out with the door wide open, constantly checking on you, having a look at your sphincter to see if it's open enough to see what's coming out, and people knocking on the door and rushing and saying, look, if you don't hurry up soon, then maybe it'll be helpful if I give you an enema or something like that, where that's going to stress you out. Your sphincter's going to shrink up. You're going to suck that poo right back up, and nothing is going to happen. You're going to feel too stressed to allow it to progress naturally. Whereas if you just had the door closed, time to know that you can just forget about everything, maybe read the paper and allow everything to happen naturally, your bowels are going to open up. Everything's going to go pretty smoothly. Now, those are the kind of conditions that you want to be creating, and you want to be that buffer. You want to be that person holding the door shut for her until there is a real need to open that door, to burst her bubble and talk to her conscious mind. So this is what the eBrains looks like, and you can print this off, and you can write your own notes next to it, take it in with you, put it in with your birth plan so that you have it on the day. You want to be asking you first of all, the E stands for emergency. It's the first thing. Anything that's being asked gets asked to you first, and you're asking the staff and yourself, is this an emergency? If this is truly an emergency, and there's real facts to back that up, then absolutely still stay in that calm bubble and go with the flow and discuss things with mom and take it from there. But if it's not a true emergency, there is no medical urgent concern about mum's health or baby's health, and it's not an emergency, then go through these other points before you make any rash decisions. So B stands for benefits. Ask them calmly and just with confidence, and make it clear that you need a full response on this. What are the benefits of doing X procedure that they're suggesting? But always ask them both versions. What are the benefits of doing what you suggest? And then also ask them, but what are the benefits of not doing this procedure? And that will hopefully make them think a bit and give you time to really process everything that you're being told, so you can decide whether this is something that you need to consider seriously. You want to know how this affects your wife's labor. You want to know how not doing it will affect your wife's labor. Then consider the risks. The risks, again, of both doing said intervention and not doing the intervention. What effect would that have on the baby? Either way. And it's really important to weigh up both so you can see, actually, is it better that we just wait? Ask for the alternatives. What other options are open to you? You might not actually be given all the alternatives. This can be sometimes because staff are pressed for time, or they're so used to doing these things that it becomes kind of, standardized. But it's really important to remember that any medical intervention requires full consent, and you need to be aware of all the alternatives so that you can make that right decision. Then listen to the your instincts and the information that you are given. And if you're not given enough information, then ask for it. Ask for the data. Ask for the real evidence there for what they need to be doing. And listen to your instincts. What does your gut say? What do you feel is necessary at this point? And really tuning into your instincts is so important, especially that you're going to feel rushed and pressured to give a response straight away. So take that time, take a step back, say, okay, we're going to process all of this, just have a little time to think about it. We know already, if you're at this stage, it's not a medical emergency. You don't have to make a split second knee-jerk reaction kind of response. So take that time. Then N in eBrains is nothing. A really important thing, nothing. What if this is not a medical emergency, and then what if we did nothing? Always come back to that. Can we just wait a little while? Can we just give her a bit more time and see how this progresses? If mom seems okay and it's just a question of being rushed into things, but there are no medical alerts, there are no urgency, the baby's not in distress, and mom is still in her zone, then can we do nothing? Can we just let nature progress naturally, forget about timings for a minute, and see how we do? And then S is just a little tail on the end to remember to smile. The medical team, now everything that I've said here is not about fighting the medical team. It's not about going rogue and, pushing away any medical advice. Not at all. It's absolutely fantastic that they are there. But remember that these guys, sometimes they see they do see cases that go bad and stuff, and it's their duty to make sure that you are okay. Everyone today is watching their backs and covering their asses. But don't get taken away by that. Don't get rushed into it. And smile. Smiling is going to help. It will automatically force your muscles to relax in your face. That's going to ripple down into your whole body, a sense of calm. It's going to bring you back into the memory of being that guardian, and making sure that you stay calm, you deal with all of this, you go through these questions so that mom doesn't have to. You don't come up with a response, but you can definitely see if you can buy her more time if there is no medical emergency. Now, in this whole series, we've debunked 3 myths about birth, and you've gone through the one strategy that you need to be following and the one that you definitely need to be avoiding. And I've given you some really powerful tools to help you already stop fearing, to start relaxing instead, and to grow one step more confident in trusting your instincts. So make sure that you get all of the resources and the full video series. Just click the link below, and I'll see you in the next video.